I am a floating body in an ether of just black curtain. What do other podcasts have? They have just knickknacks and nonsense and things that represent their personality. Not here. No, you have raw Jemma Bayley floating in the ether of nothingness coming at you, giving reviews on shit you didn't ask to be reviewed. Hello, welcome to Jemma Bayley Reviews Everything Ever.
Jemma Bayley reviews everything ever.
Hello and welcome to Jemma Bayley Reviews Everything Ever. It's me, Jemma Bayley. I'm here reviewing everything ever. How you going? I'm going well. Thank you for asking. You didn't ask, but thank you for asking. You know what? I know if you were here, you would have asked. I know that. Because you're a caring and thoughtful and weird audience, and I appreciate that about you. What have I been doing? Oh my good God. Oh my good God. Okay, so for any of you who have followed me from me talking on a panel, thank you. I went on a podcast called Work Hates with good mates Brett Blake and Bron Lewis. They are funny and hospitable and damn delights, to be frank. Damn delights. I know a few of you may have come over from there. And you know what? It's been really good this year. Actor reached out and they said, hey, do you want to talk on a panel about comedy in the digital space? And I was like, I have literally only just started. It's cool, but I didn't think it was enough to talk on a panel about, let alone with people on the panel who I was like, oh, I know these people. Grouse House, they create a lot of shows that I very much enjoy. The Auntie Donna boys, like, and they're you know them. Pudding, yeah. And I think the funniest thing I've seen of theirs is their roll call skit where they're just doing a roll call. It just keeps going with like different people. It's a good sense of humor. That's all I'm saying. It's a good sense of humor. Anyway, McFarlane Brothers, and they're outrageous. Like, I'm very impressed with those boys. I felt like their auntie who was just making them feel uncomfortable the entire time. And then my mate Shad, who is actually an established comedian on the circuit, headliner MC, like a working comedian, has worked in Reddit. And I'm sitting there going, I make videos sometimes, I guess, and I tell my jokes on stage. But what I've started to realize is we all think that we're not as far along as we are. I had myself being thrown to it was lovely to have a panel where I was being thrown to a lot and asked my opinions on things. It might have been because at the start I made a joke about everyone being sexist and maybe they were like just overcompensating by asking, and what does Jemma think of it? Like I just blackmailed them into treating me respectfully. No. They were all very lovely people and great questions and like things that I was asking when I first started doing comedy and stand up and this whole concept of the internet, because the internet existed before I was funny. Wait, no, after. Arguable actually, because like I was thinking I was funny before the internet existed, and then the internet existed and I found out I wasn't, and then I had to learn real quickly to try and be funny again. It's been a journey. Maybe be high-functioning ADHD. Now, in the past, a lot of people have accused having ADHD, but I've never really resonated with it because every time I go to look into like people who experience ADHD and all that sort of stuff, like those things where they're like, oh, do you ever do this? Do you ever do this? I've never connected with it. Like when I say never connected with it, like genuinely, like, I've never had issues with my, you know what, this is for another time. This is for another time with a very particular therapist. First review, email review from Teal. You've mentioned having ADHD, right? You know how when I said we're not going to talk about ADHD, this is why we're talking about it. You've mentioned having ADHD and in brackets, right? It's very funny that people just say I do. This is not the first time. I'm about to get a referral to a psych to see if I have it as well. So I'm wondering if you could talk a bit about your experience with it if you want. That's very sweet. Anyways, proud of you, homie. Hope I see you just stand up one day. That is very sweet. Teal used to work with me at my work maybe I think 10 years ago. I do like the ADHD community because they're very much like they're very supportive of each other because a lot of things with ADHD seem to be struggles with day-to-day lifestyles inside of an environment that is not made for the ADHD brain. As far as I know. Now, oh fuck, I better go get the book. This email actually leads into my big review of a book on ADHD that I got because this sent me into a spiral. Teal, no, it's okay. You're fine. But like, seriously. Okay, story time with Jemma because how I got this book is also a story. So you know how I went on that panel? Yes. The one I mentioned at the start of the video? Very good, very astute. Thank you for listening, guys. I went on that panel. I've like tongue to this microphone or something. There's lipstick all over it. I just love this podcast so much. I was on a panel with a bunch of people I admired, and they invited me to go see a show that I love, which is the most upsetting guessing game in the world. I went and saw it, and in front of me was one of the producers from that company. And she goes, sits behind me, blah, blah, blah. And then she turns to me and goes, oh, I saw your panel. And I went, stop. So it was just this beautiful coincidence. And she's talking to me and she's telling me about how she in my mind saved these women from making a terrible mistake in a restaurant. It's a long story. Anyway, she turns to me and she goes, and then blah blah blah, and I found out I have high functioning ADHD. And the way she was speaking, I was like, that sounds like me. So she opened up this concept to me that was like that maybe people aren't wrong with diagnosing me with ADHD, but maybe that I hadn't understood that there's a version of ADHD in which you have put systems in place to deal with it without you kind of knowing, and then because you're not having the repercussions of that thought process messing with your life. Like, weirdly enough, the same day I'm talking with an open micer who just saw my panel and I was like, oh, that's lovely. And then he also went to that show at the end of the night. I was like, hey, and we're like chatting, and he goes, oh, and because I had just spoken with that producer about high functioning ADHD, he goes, oh, I have a book on high functioning, like a person who's high functioning ADHD, a woman, and she talks about how it presents differently in women as well. Here it is, pulls it out of his bag, gives it to me, and goes, you should read it. And then I just went, all right. So my whole life has just like changed. The book's called The Year I Met My Brain. I've read it, and by read it, I mean I listened to it and read it at the same time, as I do with everything, because I'm actually dyslexic, very dyslexic. For those of you who don't know, diagnosed dyslexic. Up in the air about the ADHD diagnosis, if I'm honest. So Teal. No, I don't have ADHD, right? So this is where we're at right now. I don't have ADHD. Reading this book, I didn't connect with the author. The author is ADHD. She talks about missing appointments and time blindness and all this stuff where it kind of impacted her quite severely in her life. Feeling like a bad person about how she can't keep her space clean. Her partner is doing a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to that sort of stuff. So a lot of her stories I just don't connect with. I just simply don't. I've seen it happen. I have a few friends who have ADHD. I've seen this and I recognize them in this. And I'm worried I'm just not seeing it in myself. I'm having this moment where everyone's this, like I said, Teal is not the first person who's done this. Am I just being blind to it? So this leads me to think maybe it's time I go in and I see a doctor and I do a test about it, because there is a possibility that I have simply put a lot of systems in place and I live a lifestyle in which how my ADHD presents itself is just simply like I hate the concept. And she mentioned, actually, the producer, when she turned around, she said, make sure you get diagnosed before you have a baby. Because like that's a big thing. That's a big change in your life. That's a big, like it's a big thing to happen to a person. And if you have ADHD, I imagine that it can make things crumble, around you. Or you need to bring in your support network a little bit more, just in case, like what I don't want something catastrophic to happen in my life and then find out on top of that I have ADHD and I can't cope with it, or the mechanisms that I had in place fall apart and then I fall apart. So guess what I'm trying to say? It's a long-winded way of saying, Teal, no, but maybe. The book, however, made me question it more. Like when I was reading it, and I was going, no, but maybe. But also, I'm going to find out. Okay, I'm going to find out. Okay. All right, we're gonna figure it out. All right. It's a weird thing to do, to go into a doctor's office and go, I'm looking to get a not diagnosis. I'm looking to get a not ADHD diagnosis because I'm sick of people asking. Maybe they can say, hey, you have it, but you're high functioning. Or, hey, you have symptoms, but they're not at the level of it being a disorder, you know? Sorry. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe I do the thing. Like, maybe I do these things, but I'm very good at overcorrecting it. The coffee is my life, and my hands are the ADHD. That I almost knocked it over with this hand, the ADHD, and maybe my overcorrection hand is my OCD. We don't know. What if I've just got a cocktail of things and they're all just canceling each other out? Am I self-aware, or am I just having a conniption over this? Like, I it's literally like a lot, and don't say this is hyperfixation. I've been thinking about it for the last couple of weeks, since the whole conversation and the book, and the just everyone fucking piling on. How about I don't have ADHD and you're all just in my business? How about that? Feel like I'm functioning fine. That's my main problem. Is it's a disorder when something's not working. Maybe I should just get diagnosed if I'm thinking of having a baby. Yeah, get some speed. No, it's not even speed. I was listening to the book, reading the book, and it was like it's not even like actually like speed. It's like it just has that same like letter wording that makes you think that it's like meth. Thank you, Till, for writing in. I cannot rate ADHD. However, if you go to your GP and you get your diagnosis and then you get your prescriptions and like, look, just whatever you do, keep in contact with your GP, keep in contact with a therapist, a psych, whoever you want to see. I don't know any of the difference, honestly. Just see someone, talk to them about it. Make sure that you're always connected, because there's a lot of things that I've learned that if you have ADHD, you can actually have a lot of crossover with other things. Like if you have depression, the feeling of not being a human properly, or why is everyone else doing this? It's actually quite that concept. The concept of feeling like everyone else is doing it faster, better, like, and I'm a flawed person. I understand that because I got that a lot in school with reading. But what's great about books is you can fucking just chuck them and then go about your day. With ADHD, it seems like it's everything is like hard to navigate. Like in a way, I understand, but also in another way, I'm like, I don't think I have it. Fucking sounds like it sucks. I reckon I'd know if I'd had it. Teal, you're on a journey. How exciting. I don't know. Figure out what Hogwarts house you're in and then sort it out. I'd like to review the phrase, if the shoe fits. Or if the boot fits. Oh, yeah. It's a good phrase. It's a good phrase. I'm guessing it's a Cinderella thing. If the shoe fits, wear it. Oh, that's the whole thing. It's an idiom. I don't know what an idiom is. Meaning that if a criticism, accusation, or description applies to someone, they should accept it as true. Say, someone sends them a message and it's like crush, and they're like, he says that I smell really nice and my hair is always falling perfectly. And to turn around and be like, well, if the shoe fits, I also agree that you're very pretty and smell nice. Origin. It originated from the phrase, if the cap fits, which alluded to a fool's cap. Oh, like the dunce hat, like the little, is that what it is? The dunce hat? Back in school when you were dumb, they used to put the ADHD kids and the dyslexics understand the little hat where they're like, hey, you're dumb, stop being dumb, sit in the corner and wear the hat. And you're like, I don't know how this helps. Like, I don't know if the hat helped. In fact, it didn't. They changed it to shoe later because clearly the cap wasn't working. Well, if the shoe fits, it's always said like that, isn't it? The shoe fits. Or, well, if the shoe fits. Or, well, if the shoe la fits, then they wear it. They don't have shoes in France. A lot of people don't know that, actually. They don't have shoes in France. They just have very soft pavement. There's no shoes there. Fun fact. Good phrase. Good phrase. It's used a lot in movies. I'm done with that. I think we're done with that. I think we're done with hearing people say, if the shoe fits. And that thing where they're like, if someone's behind them, they're like, they're right behind me, isn't he? I think we're done with that. Yeah. It's a series, and they had a list of things that they weren't allowed to say because you hear them too much in movies. Was it Always Sunny? What was it? There were a bunch of comedy writers. They were writing a TV show. There was a bunch of things that they hear all the time, and they were like, we're not doing that. We're not doing those things. And I'm pretty sure that the right behind me one was one that they had on there. And I agree. I would also like to add to that list, if the shoe fits. We're giving that saying, it's kind of annoying. It gets the job done. 2 stars. 2 stars. It's fine. I'd like to review the different types of pasta. Different shapes of pasta. Bow pasta. That's cute as hell. I'm giving bow pasta 4 stars. Spaghetti. Oh, she's an icon. She's basic, but she's what you expect when spaghetti is what you think of when you think of pasta. Spaghetti, that's a 4. That's solid. It's good. I, however, love linguine. Flat spaghetti? I don't know. As a kid, I just was gonna say that's my ultimate spaghetti, because I feel like the surface area is good. And it's spaghetti-like, so it's very pasta-y. So I'm going linguine is my 5-star. Like, it's practical, but it's also like that little bit, like, to me, it's that little bit decadent. What is it? Rigatoni? It kind of freaks me out, makes me think of seaweed. Rigatoni is what I think it is. It's the flat one that has the little wigglies on the side. Is that rigatoni? Oh no, rigatoni's the tube one. 2 stars. I don't like the tubes. What's the one that's flat? Angel hair's a weird one. I don't like angel hair. 1 star. It freaks me out. Too thin. I like the little star. You know, little star pasta? It's cute. I like that little pasta. I haven't tried it yet, but it looks cute. So I'm going to give it a tentative 3 stars. Spiral. Spirals are, they grow some pasta salad most of the time. I'm giving that 2. It's fine. Tortellini. It's got like meats and cheeses in it. Fuck, that's a good time. 5 stars of tortellini. And for that matter, what is it? Ravioli. Ravioli 2. Also 5 stars. Where's the flat one? Macaroni. 1 star. I don't like macaroni. It's just hard to eat chewy stuff. It's like penne. Both annoying to me. 1 star. Oh, is papa parapilli? What the hell? I can't even pronounce it. That stuff's good. 5 stars. Now, pasta in general, I can't remember. If I didn't get to your pasta, send me an email. I can't remember all of them. The ones that look like wagon wheels are weird. 1 star. But pasta in general, 5 stars. It's pasta. I would like to review Gilmore Girls. I'm not going to lie, at the start, it wasn't doing much for me. Nothing was much happening. I was like, oh, I get it. So she had a kid when she was a kid, and now she's older, and she has a weird relationship with her mother because of it, and her kid wants to go to a rich school. I don't know if it's because I've been watching like Black Mirror and Netflix and all these streaming shows where crazy shit is happening all the time, but I kept watching Gilmore Girls. I'm like, what's going to happen? Is someone going to die? Like, what's happening? No, it's sweet. It's just sweet. It was real weird when I first started. I was like, what is this? Like, but as it's gone on, I've gotten attached to the characters, and now I'm starting to see what people see in the show. Like right now I'm in season 1, and Rory, the young girl in it, she's just gotten a boyfriend called Dean, but there's this other boy at her new school called Tristan who's being really mean to her and bullying her, and he clearly likes her, and it's just like and now there's this little love triangle happening, which is one of my favorites in like rom-coms and in like little dynamics in shows, is the love triangle, which is like, oh my god, she has to pick. Oh, I gotta stop. And then we've got Lorelai. God, I'm worried. I was about to say, how old is Lorelai? If I find out she's my age, I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh God, I'm really worried about this. She's gonna be younger than me, and she has a kid. She is. She's 32. I knew it was gonna happen. Oh, she's 39 by the end of season 7. Still weird. It's always weird when that happens. And I feel like I look at her and she's so much older. She's a year younger than me. Okay, all right. Oh well. No, I'm sitting here looking up to her. Oh, for episodes I've been like, wow, she's so cool. I want to be like her when I grow up. She wants to not be like me when she grows up. That's what's happened here. Also, I feel like when that show was made, it's a very different visualization of women and where they are in their lives. You know, like when you watch a show and you're like, wow, they seem so mature and they're all like 28. And you're like, no 28-year-old now is doing that shit. Like, what? Oh, God. Okay. Well, this is where we're at. Should I have a kid? if I'm not going to have a kid soon, I ain't having a kid. Do you know, like, I really am not. Like, the 33, I'm done. Put a fork in me, I'm done, you know? Well, this is so weird. I'm having like a weird internal thing. I'm assessing myself through the prism of Lorelai from Gilmore Girls. And their house is massive. You know, like when you watch shows and you're like, oh my God. And that whole town is so pretty. That doesn't exist. That's not real. If the town's real, but if that level of living doesn't exist, then for a 32-year-old, then I'm not. It's fine. I'm doing fine. Lorelai, I'm going to say this, Lorelai Gilmore is setting up unobtainable goals for today's modern women. I'm just going to go, look, I'm not going to stop watching. Just going to keep watching, knowing that this is all silly fantasy, goo blah, blah in my brain. And that's my review of it. It's beautiful, happy, goo blah blah in my brain. I'm really enjoying it now. Dean is adorable for Rory, but I think he's also just he's kind of nothing. And Lorelai's dating the teacher right now, and I'm like, this isn't good. I don't like him. He's too he's kind of annoying. Anyway, we'll see where that goes. I know if you've watched it and you're like screaming at me like some things, I can't hear you. And you can spoil me if you want. I don't really care. It's been out for so... At this point, if I get spoiled for Gilmore Girls, it's not the end of the world. I am one of those people that will keep watching after I've been spoiled for something. Like, you remember when Game of Thrones came out and it was like, everyone's like, oh, don't tell me about it, la, la. And I'm like, it's the internet. If you get spoiled, if you go on the internet and you get spoiled, that's on you. If you don't want to be spoiled, just don't go on the internet. Can we all agree on that? Good. I'm glad we agreed on that. I'm glad we put that to rest. We can close that chapter. So Gilmore Girls gets... At the moment, I really like it. I'm gonna get a 4. It's a good comfort show, and some stuff is happening now, and characters are fun, and the writing's really good. Actually, I believe the writings are the same people who were writing Marvelous Miss Maisel. Yeah, I like the back and forth of it. That's what it was I found when I was watching Gilmore Girls. I was like, oh, everyone seems very witty in this universe. Like the back and forth, everyone's witty and has come back and something to say. Marvelous Miss Maisel is exactly the same, so that's probably why I like it. 4 stars. We're going to review ingrown toenails. I haven't had any, but they sound awful. All I know is it looks bad and it looks like it hurts. And if any of you are suffering with that, I'm so sorry. So we're giving ingrown toenails a 1. This might have been the shortest review I've ever given. But also, like, it's funny because, like, ingrown toenails, like, they should be short. I would like to review caterpillars. Very long insects, those caterpillars go through a change in their lives. Yeah, you know, us talking about puberty and how hard that is. I bet caterpillars just look at us like, dude, you have no clue. You have no idea. Like, caterpillars like turning to us and being like, oh, okay, how hard. You're a little bit bloated and hairy or whatever. I sprout wings. I'm fundamentally a different creature. I can't go back. As we always refer to caterpillar into a butterfly as a good thing. What if, like, you live your whole life as a caterpillar, and amongst other caterpillars on the caterpillar, like, spectrum, if you're being a good caterpillar and you turn into a butterfly, that's just that's just a crazy shift. You know, and all your other friends turning into butterflies before you turn into a butterfly, and then you have to think, what am I doing wrong? And what if you never turn into a butterfly? What if you die before you turn into a butterfly? You live your whole life as a caterpillar. Just the whole what if you were a really good caterpillar and a shit butterfly? It's like the ugly duckling. What if you were a caterpillar with all your caterpillar friends, everyone turned into a butterfly, and you turned into a moth, and you didn't even realize that you were actually a moth larvae all the entire time? Oh. But also, what if you're a hot moth? You know, like, what if you're the hottest moth but the ugliest butterfly? It's all perspective, guys. What if you were a hot moth? Hey, you know what? What if you're just a hot moth? And that's what I have to say today. Go find your lamp, eh? Some of us don't belong with butterflies because we're not a butterfly. Some of us are a moth and we're attracted to bright things. I think I'm a moth. I think maybe I don't belong with a person, or maybe I belong with a thing. And that thing is my podcast. I'm just going back to the concept that I'm in love with my podcast and my boyfriend is the podcast. And maybe this is why I find a lot of butterflies annoying to be around. Anyway, I think I'm the moth of people. I think that's what's happening right now. I think I'm just very happy, entertaining myself, bumping into the lamp, just being like, yeah, yeah. This is a fun, exciting, bright thing, yeah. And everyone else is like, she's really enjoying herself over there. We're just going to let her. It's the most ADHD thing, I think. People with ADHD are moths and neurotypical people are butterflies. Like, they're going around with each other being they're social butterflies. We're fucking hitting lamps and claiming names. Claiming names like ADHD and dyslexia. We're like, we're all fucked, but we're too busy labeling ourselves about it, you know? No, in all seriousness, the labels help, like, sort our shit out. So, like, I get it, but it's also very funny that there's, like, so many characterizing. Like, for people who are bad with, like, categories and, like, learning and words and shit, we sure do have a lot of them, you know? What was I even talking about? What am I reviewing? Caterpillars. Oh, yeah. They're overlooked. The caterpillar stage is overlooked. That's where you do a lot of your eating, a lot of your nourishment, a lot of your learning, a lot of taking in before you become butterfly or moth for some of us. Caterpillar stage is a good stage. I'm gonna give caterpillars. I'm gonna give them a 4 because obviously your cocoon stage is a fucking solid one. That's best stage. Let's all talk about that stage. And then butterfly stage is a 5. I would like to review the concept of consciousness. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, okay. Oh, that's the sound of it. Consciousness. God, you gotta have it. If you don't have it, it's a hard time. That's a hard time. Imagine being an amoeba or like I don't know. Do whales have consciousness? I guess they do. I just imagine being a thing that's like a single cell organism. It's just like not it's just like I guess it would be quite zen. You're at 1. But the fact that I'm even engaging with the concept of something being zen and being 1 and it must be nice, that's consciousness. Being unconscious of it, we wouldn't even think about the fact that it's nice. So really, it's nothing. It's boring. Okay, yeah, consciousness is 5. We give consciousness a 5 because like it is, and that's good. It's hard sometimes, but better hard sometimes than nothing sometimes. Oh, God. Okay, all right. Okay, I think that we're calling it there. Okay, all right. Anyway, if you have any reviews for me, Jemma Bayley, comedy@gmail.com. I will read yours out and I will respond accordingly. And also follow me on Instagram, Jemma Bayley on Instagram. I sometimes pop up a little Instagram story asking for reviews, and if they're small little reviews, I'll review them. Anyway, thank you, and I'm done. I'm done.